Yeah, things are crazy around here. Yes, I have family in town, but everything's been good with them. I'm tired. I worked my ass off yesterday. I got chicken on the grill right now. Not grill, smoker. But me and Midget just had another dust up because I made a mistake. A valid fucking mistake. Partially because of my vision, partially because we've been having dust ups about my handwriting, trying to do signatures. It's like, I'm a millennial. I very rarely put pen to paper. Plus, it's like, I got a fucked up hand from carpal tunnel. I'm very aware that I'm have some form of undiagnosed diabetes, especially for the fact that I had a doctor after after high school had me checking my blood sugar on the regular. This is like 2008. I'm checking my blood sugar on a regular, and I did that for 3 months. And it's just one of these things of it's like, yeah, I get that my mother's old. She's literally 40 years older than me, but as like I've said so many times before in other videos, my family has a lot of trauma. I'm dealing with my trauma and trying to work through it, but because of my trauma, there's a lot of I'm lacking in a lot of areas, especially when it comes to cognitive like shit. And that can be said about most of my family. Most of my family has unresolved, undealt with trauma of some kind, either from their own actions or just from life being shitty. It's like meeting my cousin Tori's new husband Proctor yesterday. It's like I said to him, like every last Coleman has a fucking lifetime story in them. It's like my family has a lifetime docu series on them, like because we've been through so much shit. And it's like my aunt Wanda. It's like she lived out in California in Compton for years, and never died. Didn't die, but as soon as she moves back to Missouri, she gets killed and murdered by her fucking boyfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time. And there's just so much stuff like that. It's like I got one cousin who's on that end, and I got cousins. It's like there's some fucking war about one cousin who who she'll admit she's a fuck up and she's on that end and she's on drugs and she definitely needs help. But one of my cousins helped her daughter get into school. And because they helped the daughter get into school, that caused issues. That's because one of my aunts dropped the cousin off at another family member's place. I was like, no, you dropped her off here. We're bringing her back where she came from. And it's so much just little stuff like that it fucking kills me because I realize I'm missing in a lot of areas. And it's like the most recent dust up with Midget is that I messed up signing a money order. And yeah, this is important because this is about her new house. But I don't know. I just feel like people need therapy. And I'm upset that I missed my individual therapy appointment Tuesday because I was awake. I was awake Tuesday morning, but my phone somehow didn't get plugged in. And when I looked at my phone at like 11:45, it's like my therapist didn't call me until 11 after, and it's just I couldn't get a reschedule last week because North Point is opening back up. People people are slowly coming back into the clinic. It's like I went down there. It's been so long. It's like I go by North Point. You can just tell by the construction how long it's been. And Longer there's construction, the closer we get to that parking lot opening back up. But I'm really sick of people acting their trauma ages and then getting mad and offended when I come at them with a trauma response. When they're making threats against my life, not figuratively, literally making threats. It's it's beyond irritating and puzzling. Is that honestly, growing up in my life, the adults in my life really weren't shit. It's like Midget was decent. She was a provider. She raised she raised fucking 8 brothers and sisters before she even had kids. Like, but some others like Ben and Craig, they weren't the best. They weren't the best because Craig was fresh out of prison, and there's a big age difference between me and my brothers. It's like there's like a 30+ year age gap between me and Craig, and between him and Ben, there's like a 2.5 year, almost 3 year age gap. I'm not sure about that. It might be 2 years, but there's a closer age gap between those two, and those two are they're older niggas who've been in and out of jail. Well, Craig really wasn't in and out of jail. Craig had one situation he was in. Brand new dude, brother of his girlfriend, met for the first time, killed a cab driver. They hanging out, having a good time. It's like my brother did not know about the gun, didn't know anything, but this is 1980s Missouri. This was 1980s Missouri. And I mean, if you know Missouri, you know Missouri's racist as hell. It's like I've gotten into arguments with white people at my job because white people don't want to acknowledge racism. They really don't. They won't. It's like until I was about 15, every time I went to Missouri, I saw a Confederate flag off the highway. So I mean, that's another argument for another time. The Confederate flag, but that is a clear sign of racist, and it's like I don't get this. And so yeah, trying to deal with the past and trauma, and I'm constantly trying to work through mine. It's hard, and I think to actually work through my trauma, I need to get far away from people that are related to me by blood. And I don't know, because I got one person who acts like a fucking child, and then I got another person who, as soon as you act like a child in response, they want to get all mad and make threats. And honestly, I'm done with it. I'm done with it on so many levels, and that hurts me because this weekend I got Tori visiting and her new husband and children, and it's great. She's awesome, but there's another part of my family who aren't dealing with their issues. It's like I'm gonna tell some family business right now. It's like I got one aunt who put her sisters in a situation where she was sexually assaulted and has never said anything but other than, oh, she liked the dude. She was trying to get with the dude. And this is the problem with this is one of the many problems with this country, but it's one of the many problems with black people, is that they don't want to deal with trauma. They just want to bury it, pretend like it didn't happen. But that trauma is just going to leave more generational scars. It's going to do more damage. It's going to hurt people more. And I'm sick of hurt people hurting people. It's like I'm sick of the world on so many levels that there was a time where I've tried ending it. and successfully and or not successfully, unsuccessfully, like unfortunately or fortunately, I failed. I got saved in time, and but that's just one of those things. It's like I look at my little cousins and it's like y'all so lucky that y'all grow up close to each other. Y'all grew up with family nearby. You see family on the regular. It's like I gotta take a 7 hour drive, 6 hour drive to see family. I gotta have money for gas. I gotta. It's too much to see family when you live in Minnesota. And the family I do have here, well, they really ain't shit for me. Other than a bunch of people who want to be my daddy, who want to be my father, but don't want to take responsibility really. I'm tired. I'm tired, and I hope I didn't fuck up this shit and it can be fixed. Besides reordering the money orders, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just like it's like I wanted to do the St. Juice thing today, but I don't think I'm gonna get to it. I don't think I'm gonna get to it at all. But yeah, I'm gonna make this a quick one because there's stuff that needs to be done still. Like I'm grilling some chicken, but yeah, they might not even show.